So I'd like to talk a little bit about locking in your stitches if you have a machine that does not have a reverse. First, I would like to say that I think maybe people lock in their stitches more than they need to. It's important to know when you need to and when you don't. And so in a lot of construction of articles, you'll sew one seam and then later you'll put two new pieces together and you'll sew across the end of a seam that you previously made, in which case you would not have needed to lock that in, especially when you're using a lock stitch sewing machine. I mean, lock stitch, it's right in the name there for you. So it's not very critical to lock those in, not like a chain stitch, which tend to unravel pretty easily. One thread more than two thread. Most of our machines are lock stitch, like this machine, most of your home machines. And so my point is, reverse is not as critical as you might believe. So one, you probably don't need to lock all your stitches in, but when you do need to lock it in, I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can lock your stitches in with a machine that does not have reverse, and it's real easy. So the first way I'm going to show you is you just put your work in where you're going to start, and you just sew a couple of stitches, and then you'll lift the needle out of your work. You'll lift the foot and you'll move your work back to where you started. So you sew a couple, then you move your work back and you start sewing again. And so now you've got two stitches, you backed up and you sewed right across those two stitches. And then on the other end it's the same way. You just get to the end, you lift that needle, lift the foot, just move your work so that you're going to stitch across those last two or three stitches again. So here is one seam that's locked on both ends. For me, this is the best method, but I'm going to show you one more. And there's probably more than two methods. What method do you use to lock in your stitches? Put it down in the comments. Alright, so I'm going to show you one more way to do it. And this way you don't have to manually move your work. So if we're going to stitch this way, we're going to start with our work backwards. And we're going to put our foot down to where we can sew towards the end of the work a couple of stitches, 2 or 3 stitches, whatever you want. Alright, so that's 2. Now I'm going to leave my needle in the work this time, and I'm going to rotate it, and now I'm going to sew back across those first 2 stitches I just made and finish my seam. And I get to the end, needle in the work, turn your work, and now I'm just going to sew a couple of stitches back. So there's 2 examples of a way that you can lock your stitches in without reverse. So if you have a machine that does not have reverse, you can see it's really easy to lock in your stitches. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already, I'd appreciate it if you became a subscriber to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching.